Michael Lartzis, you are the Terrifics, and this is your live continuing coverage of Toy Fair 2017, your official coverage here at the Jacob K. Javits Center in New York City, at BeTerrific TV on all social media. I am so excited about our next guest. I'm so excited about every guest, but our next guest is special because we have never had Lego on set, and Lego is here. We've done a 360 video in their booth. They have a magnificent booth. It seems like it's an entire city, not just a Lego city, a real city. And everybody loves Lego. Lego is a tremendous company. I love that Lego starts with Duplo, and then it moves into the Lego bricks, and now they're going digital, and they've got TV and movies and documentaries and all sorts of stuff going on, and the story behind Lego is phenomenal. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, good to be here.
Thanks for coming on the set. This is our home. This is the official coverage of Toy Fair 2017. The Lego story is very interesting to me. It starts off as a very local story and then gets very global very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the Lego Group is obviously a family-owned company with a mission to get kids to learn through play and share their pride of creation with all the other kids around the world, basically. You know, it's a toy that allows kids to create things from their imagination and make stories in all different universes. So it has, it has a very broad appeal.
We had Klutz on earlier in the day, and they're putting together the stop animation kit with you guys. So it'll be 30 Lego pieces and a book that tells people how to do stop animation along with an app, so you can shoot your own Lego stop animation videos. I thought that was great, and you're starting to get into all sorts of different things. But that kind of reminds me that people start playing with Lego at my son's age of 3, or maybe even a little bit younger with Duplo and stuff like that. And then it goes all the way up to adults now, because adults are playing with Lego, and you have all this fanfare everywhere, and there are Lego conventions. Is that surprise Lego?
I think we're always surprised by the kind of popularity and the love that the different people who play with Lego show to us. I think you're right, it goes all the way through from kids who are 1-2 years old with Duplo, and then you've got what we call AFOLs, adult fans of Lego, who have the conventions and they create amazing builds. I was at Lego World in Copenhagen yesterday, where they have these huge creations on display, you know, literally the size of almost the floor of the room down here, one creation that takes months to build. It's unbelievable what these guys can do with the Lego brick.
I've seen some pretty amazing stuff at Legoland and also displays here in New York City over the years, and it's just tremendous what you guys are able to accomplish. I do wonder though, like when Lego started, and even 20 years into Lego or 30 years into Lego, if anybody really said one day we're going to have theme parks, because today when you start a company and you're a startup, you dream one day we're going to have theme parks, we're going to have movies about us, we're going to have television studios, we're going to be this, that, the other thing, we're going to have clothing line. But the reality is, when Lego started, I can't imagine anybody sitting there going, one day we're going to have, and 30 years in, I can't imagine anybody saying, one day we're going to have.
I think the thing about us is that we're very singular in our vision and our strategy, and everything comes back to the brick. Whether it's an app like this, which captures kids' creations, or whether it's Legoland with areas everywhere where kids can build and do whatever they want, everything comes back to the brick. And I think we're very focused on that we don't overextend ourselves into other areas that are not true to the brand and not necessarily relevant for what our mission is. So I think we do kind of do things like movies and the parks, but everything always comes back to that construction play.
I think everybody has a good story who worked at Lego. Nobody gets to Lego by accident. It's not like, oh, well, there was some job opening and I've never heard that story. I mean, I know Julia Strada pretty well. She works in PR for Legoland and some of the Lego products. Her story is fascinating. I've seen documentary after documentary and person being interviewed, designer, and nobody just said, oh, I accidentally got to Lego. What's your Lego story?
So I worked, well, the first thing is I used to play with Lego all the time when I was a kid. So, in my head, I think there were like 5 or 10 companies that I just really wanted to work for in my career, in my life. And Lego was in that top 5, no doubt. So I always had it in there. And I think I've been quite lucky. I worked for Nintendo for 8 years.
Wow.
And then I worked at the BBC for 3 years on brands like Doctor Who and Top Gear. So I've worked on things that I've actually had a lot of interest and passion about. And then when the opportunity to work for Lego came along 3 years ago, it was just like, it was almost even better than those two for me. It is an amazing place to work. The values of the company run through everything that we do. It's extremely family focused. It's all about collaboration, and like I said before, everything comes back to this idea of getting the bricks in as many kids' hands as possible.
Yeah.
And that's what that's why we try and grow the business. Why we drive things forward is because we want to get the brick in as many kids' hands.
I think it's so interesting that today there are so many people trying to get kids to fidget or to have creative thinking or to really work on dexterity, fine motor skills, macro motor skills, and Lego has been doing all of those things off of that little brick forever at this point. I know our Slack chat, our viewers, our Terrifics are in our chat room, they're going nuts, and I know why. It's because you just said you worked at Nintendo, one of their favorite companies, then you did the BBC and did Doctor Who and Top Gear, their favorite shows, and then you're at Lego, one of their favorite companies, and they're like bowing down to you like it's Wayne's World. And I am also told that there's a new Lego store that opened by Paul Dixon in London. Is that the truth?
Yeah, there's our flagship store just opened in Leicester Square. Yeah. We actually made a new minifigure called Leicester, wearing like a typical British top hat and everything like that. And it's unbelievable in there. They have like a huge mosaic of the whole London skyline made out of little Lego bricks. They've got a huge, massive build of an underground station with a tube train running through it. It's just it's an amazing store, actually. Yeah.
I feel like Lego should have a lifetime achievement toady. Maybe it's been given or something, a Toy of the Year, because I just feel like you guys are always innovating and always achieving. It's a company that started making the little bricks and could have stayed with that, and then through the parks and even with the characters, and just keep innovating. And then you move to digital, where a lot of companies are slow to do that kind of thing. You do it. So take me through the app, and I know it's not your first app, and there's been a lot of other products out there that you've gone digital with, and I know you've got a lot of electric in some of the lines now, and train sets and all sorts of great stuff, and you could build a Porsche exactly identical to the Porsche out of Lego bricks. I mean, it's just amazing. It never ends. You go to the Lego store, you know what I'm talking about. And so tell me about the app that you've worked on.
So basically, we realized that if you're a child and you've made something out of Lego, and it's either something from your imagination or something from the instruction book, you can share it with kids that are near you, you can share it with your parents or whatever, but if you're under 13, you have no way of sharing it with a broader audience. And certainly some of the older kids that we talk to in some of our research and ones that are close to Lego, when they get to the age of 8 or 9, they have this very profound sense of pride with what they've created, and they want to share it with more people. But if you go on to the social networks they've created are for adults or teenagers,
right,
and for over 13s. So we said, well, why don't we just make one? Let's make a Lego social network for kids with the core purpose of inspiring them to build more creatively and giving them a place where they can share their creations. They can create a Lego avatar of themselves that represents them in that space. It keeps them completely anonymous, so you don't see any personal information about the kids in there.
I like
so we
that
keep
idea.
It really safe. So the two things that were fundamental to us were keeping it safe for kids and focusing on creativity, so inspiring kids to build as much as possible.
So does that mean that you've limited it to everybody under 18, nobody over 18, or do you let the AFOLs in?
No, they can come in.
Yeah.
It's designed from a pretty much like an 8 to 12-year-old point of view.
And I like that, and it's really about your Lego creations and being proud of that, and maybe some events that are coming up, Lego events. Very cool. Apparently everybody's saying the Batman Lego movie is amazing, which is true. And then they want to know what your favorite Lego theme or range is.
Wow, there are so many. My daughter's favorite is Ninjago.
Yeah.
So I do spend a lot of time building Ninjago sets with her. So I think that's pretty awesome. Personally, I actually like Creator. So I build a lot of creator sets and creator expert sets, because I find the actual experience of building, some of the techniques the designers use to get the angles that are kind of slightly different from what you would get from a normal system. Having to try and achieve those angles, like on the Ferrari F40, the panels have to be exactly the right angles for the way the Ferrari is in real life.
Sure.
So they use these very clever techniques to get them. And when you see something, you just think, wow, how did that guy think of that? The designers are like the gods in Lego. They're the ones who make the sets, and they're like the rock stars in the company. So I have a lot of respect for the creator expert set, definitely. Yeah.
I love it. My son loves the car stuff. He loves space shuttle stuff. He always builds a spaceship or a plane out of just regular Legos too. And then he's really been a big fan of Duplo, especially because he's on the younger side and loves like the Mickey Mouse Duplo sets, which I think is so interesting. A lot of the licensing deals work out well. Let's show off the app here. Here's your iPad.
Yeah.
And so this is, the social network, and you can see.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, it looks a little similar to a Lego fun, colorful version of Instagram in some ways. You get a mixture of Lego content in there, so there's a trailer for the Batman movie, also alongside creations that kids have posted themselves. It's all moderated, so any pictures or comments that go up get looked at by someone or get filtered out if it's inappropriate. But we set building challenges, they get rewards for the more creative they are. They can unlock new, so basically you can create your minifigure of yourself. If it doesn't work, probably I'm going to blame the Wi-Fi in here.
It's terrible.
But here you can see you can create different. I can create a different outfit, and you can unlock new things the more challenges you go into. And the building challenges are actually, they basically ask you to put the iPad down, go and find some bricks, build something, take a photo of it, and upload it. So it's a mixture of the digital social side of it and also the physical building play.
I love it.
So it's kind of that's its basically purpose. We also have Lego Batman lives in here, so he has his own account. So if you go in here and you have a look, you can have a look here. Lego Batman actually comments on other kids' creations and sets some building challenges. So you can go in there and you can actually communicate with Lego Batman or some of the other sets in there. So they have their own account alongside all the kids, which is pretty cool for them.
And this is available now.
Yeah, so it launched on the 31st of January. We're looking at hopefully getting to around 1 million users in our first month, which is way beyond our expectations. There's not really much anything out there like this because it's actually quite difficult to really keep it super safe for kids, but obviously that's something that we've really taken on, we have to do with our brand.
Right. Absolutely.
So we put it out there. Apple really liked it. They featured it for a couple of weeks of launch, which is what helped us get to that many users, to be honest. But yeah, it's available on Android as well, and we'll be growing it and adding features to it as we go through the year. So there'll be the ability to link it into other experiences. So when you create on Lego Boost, the new coding set that we announced recently, that's here actually, if you create your own basically code for a robot and it does a certain thing like pick something up or walk around, you can then share what you've done through Lego Life with other kids. So they can say, that looks really cool, I want my robot to pick up that thing and move it exactly like that. And they can just take it from here and put it onto theirs, basically.
Wow.
So it becomes a central point for all Lego cool stuff.
That's amazing, and that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, is Lego doesn't just stand still and go, okay, here are more bricks, or here's a Star Wars set. You're talking about teaching kids coding, allowing them to learn coding, and then now sharing their experiences with each other so everybody gets to be further educated and smarter in the process. Yeah. It's really smart. I imagine it's free.
It is free, yeah. We're not charging for it. We're never going to charge for it. It's kind of cool as well. We've created an emoji language. So it's a kids emoji language. So this doesn't require moderation. So basically it uses all Lego elements. You can see the heads there and some of the Lego things. You can also choose stickers as well. If I can go on there, different stickers. So kids can comment instantly on each other's creations using the Lego emoji set.
I love it.
I don't have to wait for it to be moderated. It just goes up straight away. So and they think that's really cool as well, I think.
I think it's awesome. It's funny, I'm old school a little bit. I think of, emojis as wingdings.
Yeah.
You remember those?
Back
in the day, Microsoft Word, and I am not an emoji guy, but I think it's very cool, and I know kids love it. Yeah. I absolutely think this is great because it's a safe place for kids to go and share their experiences and kind of learn from each other and communicate. And you're also building social skills, which is really important. And we build social skills a lot, of course, now, and we're trying to in communication face-to-face. But we also should do it online as well, especially because there's so much online that is not great. I see that all these guys are putting stuff in the Slack chat. People, Digital Phil wants a Lego badge. He's the sheriff of our Slack chat, and he should have one. Absolutely, we should figure out how to build a Lego badge. Digital Phil says he wants a Lego him. CJ has been putting together an insane Lego set since Christmas that he got for his kids, and maybe they were a little too young for it, so he's been putting it together. And Jay Bird put up a picture of his kids at Legoland, which is pretty amazing, and that's great. And they're loving it. Somebody wants the Lego Lamborghini.
I couldn't tell you whether that was happening or not, to be honest.
Is there anything you can tell us about the future?
Nothing that hasn't already been announced here, obviously, because we're a company that we want to keep surprises for kids.
Sure.
So there are obviously awesome things. I see things coming like a lot of days. Sometimes they make it to the market, sometimes they don't. But there's some really cool stuff coming up.
I did buy my son a Doc Brown and Marty McFly DeLorean Lego set, and that was pretty fun for me. So imagine we're in the DeLorean and we travel like 2 years into the future. What am I seeing from Lego?
I think you'll see the brick will always be the center of everything.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're going to suddenly turn into a digital-only company overnight. That's never going to happen. But I think you'll see initiatives like Lego Life grow and expand, and anything that really embraces the creativity and gives a digital platform for kids to amplify that and share with others and share their Lego stories. I think that will become even more of a focus for the company.
I think it's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And I have to say, people have to check out the story of Lego from the origins. There are several documentaries on Netflix and all over online that are just phenomenal. There's stop action movies. There's all sorts of great content, and people should check it out. It's just unbelievable, the story of how Lego started and then how it almost stopped and then started and kept growing, and really was this local company that grew to be a huge global brand is remarkable.
It's still based in that same village town in Denmark, which is where I live.
Yeah.
So I moved from London to Billund.
You live there?
Yeah. So I moved there from London, this population of kind of 9 million people, to Billund in Denmark, in the countryside in Jutland, a population of 4,000 people.
And everybody works at Lego.
And everyone knows at Lego or the airport, basically, pretty much.
Now, Lego is two words put together, is it not?
It means leg godt, which is play well in Danish. Yeah.
Very, very cool. They keep going. They're NVIDIA Lego. I mean, they want everything Lego. They're having a lot of fun in the Slack chat. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
Thank you for coming on. It's been great. And Lego, one of the best companies that you'll ever find, because they're so good-natured. It's not just about making a toy and selling a toy. It's all about a community and people and treating kids right and teaching them lessons. And you see it from the app. You have very few people who say we want to build a social network that's safe for kids so they can share and learn and communicate. And Lego has done that. Check out more on lego.com. We'll have a lot more for you right here on your live continuing coverage of Toy Fair 2017 from the Jacob K. Javits Center in New York City, your official coverage of Toy Fair 2017. Stay with us.